Hi guys, sorry that I couldn't be here today. I wanted to make a quick video though to show you exactly what I need you to work on today. We're going to hopefully finish the book, but there are two things that you need to do ahead of that to kind of get you to that point. All right, so when you are done watching this video, I need you to quietly get a computer and in the back of the classroom, and then I need you to log on and go to Schoology. That's the first thing you're going to do. Once you get to Schoology, you'll find 4B. And then at the bottom of the home page, when you just log in, there are two things right here. Okay, here's your essay that you're going to work on today and also the grammar test. So don't go to the Persepolis folder, just stay on the home page here. The first one is the grammar test, so you'll do that first. That's why I have it there first. All the questions are randomized, so it just doesn't do you any benefit to work with anybody else because everyone's got a slightly different version of the grammar test. Won't take you long. Go ahead and click submit when you're finished, and then you'll move on to the essay. At this point, I don't know if I'll probably let you redo it again. I let you redo everything in my class. I don't really have a timeline for that. Just do your best, and we'll see how well you do. Okay, so after your grammar test, then you're going to basically start writing your essay today. So you'll click on this next link, which is Inquiry Research Essay. And yours look a little different because you're students and I'm a teacher, but really the link that once you click My Document, I think there's a little link here that says My Document for you, and it brings up this link which says Inquiry Research Essay. Let's see if I can get the frame over there a little bit. Inquiry Research Essay. So you'll go ahead and click on that, and then it should pull up a document for you to start typing. So one thing that you need to work on as you or one thing that you'll see when you pull this up is yours is going to look blank. And so it says type your essay below, cut and paste your works cited from Noodle Tools as the last page of your essay, and edit and spell check. So you can do the works cited from Noodle Tools later. Okay, these are just reminders for you to check off before you submit it for good. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is put a heading on it just like you saw mine. So you'll start with your name, and then you'll put your teacher's name, which is me. Then you put the class name, and then you put the date that it's due. For now, let's put it far away after fall break. So let's put that on October 21st. I'm not even sure that's a B day. Oops. In fact, I think it's an A day, but let's just keep this the date for now. This is how you properly format that heading. Hit enter twice, center. You'll put the word title here for now. You can go back and edit that. And then you'll go back to left alignment. And you'll start typing. Okay, so this is how you'll start typing your essay right away. You can also double space this by going up to the top here where it says line spacing and click double. Okay. All right, so back to our cursor. Indent once and start typing. I need to give you notes on how to actually write an introduction paragraph. And so if you go to your shared documents, so back to My Cherry Creek Schools and Google Drive, you'll click Shared with Me. I have a lot of documents here. I'll click Shared with Me. And in your Shared with Me documents, okay, so it's a totally different link for you, you will find a document that says Introduction Notes. It'll be the thing that's most been recently shared with you. And really here are the notes that or the things that I want you to put in your introduction paragraph. So once you're in your document, you've got your heading on it, you've got the word title on there, and you start typing, here's where you start, okay? The introduction paragraph includes the thesis statement as the last sentence. I have that color-coded in yellow or orange in my example for you. It's the last part. So if you think about your introduction paragraph, we start really broad. That's why there's this upside-down cone here, where you talk about the topic in general, and then you kind of slowly whittle it down to a point, and that's your thesis statement. Okay, so to start really broad, you can do one of these things. Here's a one sentence, it's a one sentence kind of attention getter. Some people call it a hook. I think a hook is kind of a interesting way to say it, but just something to kind of engage the reader in your audience into your paper. So you can do one of these things. You can ask a question and then answer it. So like, should book banning be law? The clear answer is no. That could be a way you start your essay. You could do a short, choppy, kind of jarring sentence, like, every time a teacher bans a book, a child's dreams are crushed. It's a catch-22 to ban books. Okay, that's another way to start your essay. You could provide a quote, possibly from one of your articles or from even Persepolis. You could provide a statistic or tell a personal story, anything that might connect to your topic. I think the easiest thing to do would be to tell a brief personal story or a story from the book Persepolis, and that's actually kind of how I started my model essay for you. So choose one of those. It should be a sentence, no more than 2. Then you're going to go into 2 to 3 sentences of background information on your topic, and this is where you kind of start to whittle it down to your thesis. So who's involved in your topic? Why is the issue important? How is the issue related to the book or to today? What just kind of background knowledge does a reader need to know about your question or your topic? You can't assume that your reader, your audience of your essay has any background knowledge, so you kind of have to fill in those blanks, and you can do that in 2 to 3 sentences. Hopefully that will be clear to you once you read my example. And then you'll finish off the introduction paragraph with your thesis statement. Okay, so here's my example. It's 5 sentences, I believe. And this really is a good length. It doesn't need to be any longer than this. Okay, so I actually did some background information, a story from Persepolis or the Time. And since my inquiry question is, what are the effects of what are the effects on people's mental health when there's a corrupt government in charge? Okay, so I kind of want to start immediately by talking about corruption in government. So I said this: when the Iranian government switched from the Shah to the even harsher, less equipped Ayatollah Khomeini in the early 1980s, corruption within the government abounded as the Islamic regime clamped down on Western practices. So I actually didn't really do any of these. I did do kind of like a story related to Persepolis because I thought that was easiest for me to do. All right, so then I'm going to go on background knowledge on my topic. The issue of corruption in governments is not new, of course. For centuries, countries around the world have struggled under the control of dictators eager to line their pockets with money or to advance their evil agendas by killing those who disagree with them. Okay, so I'm talking about why is the issue important, who's involved, what actually is my topic. These cruel leaders rule by fear and cause havoc for decades to follow. One of the large effects on people, beyond just how their day-to-day lives are affected, is the cost of a population's mental health. So now I'm really starting to focus in on my topic. And here's my thesis statement that I got stamped last week by Miss Nance. I'm just regurgitating it exactly how I wrote it earlier. Corruption in government affects mental health negatively because, here are my reasons, it causes fear and anxiety, forces people to take sides, and it even causes some to commit suicide. And that now has been, I've started super broad about government and corruption, kind of some background information on that topic, and I've whittled it down to my one main point, my thesis statement. The hardest part about an introduction paragraph is this part, I think, because what kind of background knowledge would you provide to your audience? And all of your issues are a little bit different. All of your questions are a little bit different. So this part is kind of broad and vague. You kind of have to just decide what you think is important for somebody to read. Okay, so here are some starter questions. Here's my example of how I would maybe twist that to make it make sense for my audience, and you then have to do the same. Okay, so any of these will work as your attention getter. Any of these will work as your background knowledge. Here are just some stems to help you think about what you would write. And then your thesis statement should be finished if I've stamped it and we talked about what it needs to be. Remember, you only need to have 2 reasons listed or 2 body paragraphs. Mine has 3. Some of you also have 3. All that's fine. Some of you don't have yours listed at all. It's all good. If you got a stamp, then write it the way you have it written on your yellow or blue sheet from last week. Okay? And that's your assignment for today. This is due at the end, it's due next class period, but obviously this is your time in class to work, okay? So just to recap, once you get to Schoology, you'll take your quick grammar test. That will not take you long. And then you're working on your introduction paragraph for your essay on your inquiry question, okay? Should you finish both of those things, I'd like you to work towards finishing reading the book today in class. We have 2 chapters left, the Shabbat and the Dowry, and then you have the note sheet to go with them, okay? All the instructions are on the board. These are the 2 priorities. If you don't end up finishing the book today, fine, but I'm not only asking you to write 3 to 5 sentences for this introduction paragraph and this grammar test, so you should have time to go grab a book and start to work on the notes and the finishing of Persepolis, okay? All right, have a great class period. Please don't be disruptive. I'm okay if you listen to music during your inquiry research essay work time, but not during the grammar test, since some of you kind of like to write and think about that stuff too while you're listening to music. Not my preference, but if you absolutely have to, if it's going to keep you less distracted, fine, okay? That's due next class period. I will see you then, and have a great one.